First thing I want to do is welcome everyone to this hearing for September 16th, 2025, the Board of Commissioners zoning hearing. It doesn't look like we have any clergymen here today, so we're going to take a moment of silence. Please bow your heads. Okay, and with that, let me see here. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I'll officially call the meeting to order.
Good morning. As I look at the dais, we're missing some folks. The chairperson and the vice chair are out today, but we do have a quorum. When we have the absence of both those parties, we need to elect a temporary vice chair. So if I could have a motion to elect a person?
I move to nominate Commissioner Gamble.
A second?
I second.
And if you would raise your hands, please. Oh, not me.
You don't count.
Like I'm doing. Just as a reminder, all, for something to pass today, any motion, we need to have at least 3 votes. So if the main motion does not pass or the substitute motion does not pass, then it will be continued to the next hearing as it's a zoning matter. And Vice Chair?
Thank you. John, can we start with the agenda, please?
Yes. And before we begin the agenda, I do have a couple announcements to make. The following hearing will be done with the following process and procedure. Each case will be called in numerical order. When the case is called, we would ask that the applicant please stand and raise their hand to show that they are in attendance. After that, we're going to call to see if there's anyone here opposed to that specific case. We would also ask that they raise their hand so they can be counted for the official record. After recognizing both parties will be asked to come forward to be sworn in. The applicant will testify first, and then the opposition, if any, will testify second. It's important to note that each side gets 10 minutes to state their case and concerns. There's not a rebuttal process, and there's not a process to reserve your time. So please convey all your information to the board within your 10-minute time period. Additionally, if there's more than one person wishing to speak on an issue, you may want to coordinate with each other about what you're going to talk about, because each side only gets 10 minutes, and you don't want to cover the same information over and over. After the 10-minute presentation period, the board will start to discuss the case at hand. From the discussion, they may ask one or more speakers to come back to the front for additional comments or questions. Then the board will make a decision to either approve, deny, hold, or continue the case at hand. There are 5 withdrawn cases on today's agenda, and these cases will not be heard today. First case is rezoning case Z9 of 2025, Whataburger Restaurants, LLC. This case has been withdrawn without prejudice and will not be heard. Next case is rezoning case Z20 of 2025, Trayton LLC. This case was withdrawn without prejudice and will not be heard today. Next case is LUP 32 of 2025, Robin R. Fowler. This case was withdrawn without prejudice and will not be heard today. Next case is SLEP 5 of 2025, Jose Janeo. This case was withdrawn without prejudice and will not be heard today. And finally, other business case number 22 of 2025, Whataburger Restaurants, LLC. This case has been withdrawn without prejudice and will not be heard today. Madam Temporary Vice Chair and Board, we did get one request late to withdraw another case. The applicant would like to withdraw other business item number 45 of 2025, Trayton LLC. This is in District 1.
So moved.
Second.
Call the question.
They sent in a letter last week.
The motion passes 3-0 with Commissioner Joanne Burrell and Lisa Cupid absent.
Thank you. And before we begin the consent, there are a number of cases on today's printed agenda which have been continued, and these cases will not be heard either. And I'll go through the list. First case is rezoning case Z2 of 2024, Florida North Development Group, LLC. This case was continued by the staff until the October 7th, 2025 Planning Commission zoning hearing So Z2 of 2024 will not be heard today. Rezoning case Z68 of 2024, Saks Austell LLC. This case was held by the Board of Commissioners until the October 21st, 2025 Board of Commissioners zoning hearing. So Z68 of 2024 will not be heard today. Rezoning case Z17 of 2025, Little Sunshine's Playhouse. This case was continued by the staff until the October 7th, 2025 Planning Commission zoning hearing. So Z17 of 2025 will not be heard today. Rezoning case Z18 of 2025, Racetrack Inc. This case was held by the Planning Commission until the October 7th, 2025 Planning Commission zoning hearing. So Z18 of 2025 will not be heard today. Rezoning case Z19 of 2025, Brockbuilt Homes LLC. This case was held by the Planning Commission until the October 7th, 2025 Planning Commission zoning hearing. So Z19 of 2025 will not be heard today. Rezoning case Z21 of 2025, Jose Janeo. This case was continued by the Planning Commission until the October 7th, 2025 Planning Commission zoning hearing. So Z21 of 2025 will not be heard today. LEP 31 of 2025, Ann Lou Crispell. This case was continued by the staff until the October 21st, 2025 Board of Commissioners zoning hearing. So LEP 31 of 2025 will not be heard today. LEP 33 of 2025, Carol J. Hicks Vargas and Michael Vargas. This case was continued by staff until the October 21st, 2025 Board of Commissioners zoning hearing. So LEP 33 of 2025 will not be heard today. LUP 35 of 2025, C. Susan Velasquez. This case was continued by staff until the October 21st, 2025 Board of Commissioners zoning hearing. So LUP 35 of 2025 will not be heard today. Other business item number 40 of 2025, Chad J. McMillan. This case was continued by staff until the October 21st, 2025 Board of Commissioners zoning hearing. So other business item number 40 will not be heard today. And finally, other business item number 42 of 2025, LCD Acquisitions and Town Park Renaissance LLC. This case was continued by the staff until the October 21st, 2025 Board of Commissioners zoning hearing. So other business item number 42 will not be heard today. And before we begin the consent, I do want to ask the folks in today's audience, if you have a cell phone, please turn your cell phone off. When the phone rings, it does interfere with the broadcast and presentations. And I want to remind applicants, opposition, and any interested party that information is due to this board the Wednesday prior to this hearing. Any information submitted after the Wednesday due date may or may not be considered by the board at their discretion. And with that, Madam Vice Chair, I'm ready to start the consent agenda. Cobb County Board of Commissioners zoning hearing consent agenda for September 16th, 2025. First case on consent is other business item number 41 of 2025, which is to consider amending the stipulations for Landstar Builders, Inc. regarding rezoning application Z18 of 2020, should be 2022. The property is located on the south side of Liberty Hill Road, east of Canton Road, in land lot 660 of the 16th District. Staff recommends approval, subject to the following conditions. Number 1, fire department comments and recommendations contained in the other business packet. Number 2, Cobb DOT comments contained in the other business packet. Number 3, contractor use is permitted. Number 4, no outdoor storage and no heavy equipment on site. And number 5, all previous conditions not in conflict remain in effect. Is the applicant present? Is the applicant here for other business number 41? Is there anyone here opposed to this case? Okay. Madam Vice Chair and Board, the applicant is not present and there's no one opposed. Would you like us to try to give them a call before the hearing?
Yes, I would. Commissioner Sheffield?
Yeah, also, there were a couple of people that went to the restroom. I don't know if they might be the applicant or if they're here with an applicant.
They're a separate case.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so we'll call them and try to get them here before the end of the hearing. All right, next case is other business item number 44 of 2025, which is to consider a reduction of public road frontage from required 75 feet to 0 feet and other variances for Brandon Tubo. The property is located on the north side of Cheatham Road, east of Cheatham Lake Drive, in land lots 152, 153 of the 20th District. Staff recommends approval, subject to the following conditions. Number 1, water and sewer system comments recommendations contained in the other business packet. Number 2, Cobb DOT comments contained in the other business packet. Number 3, stormwater management comments recommendations contained in the other business packet. Number 4, road frontage is reduced to 0 feet for track 2 with accessory structure variances as shown on the site plan received August 7th, 2025. And number 5, no other subdivision of this property. Is the applicant present? The applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to other business item number 44? Let the record show there's no one opposed. Next item is other business item number 46 of 2025, which is to consider a reduction of public road frontage from 75 feet to 53 feet and other variances for John R. Hooker. The property is located on the east side of Hiram Ackworth Highway, south of Sayer Drive, in land lot 342 of the 20th District. Staff recommends approval, subject to the following conditions. Number 1, Cobb DOT comments and recommendations contained in the other business packet. Number 2, site plan review comments site plan review comments and recommendations contained in the other business packet. And number 3, site plan received by the zoning division August 11th, 2025, that shows this property with 53 feet of road frontage. Is the applicant present? Let the record show the applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to other business item number 46? Let the record show there's no one opposed. And that completes the consent agenda, Madam Vice Chair and Board, with the exception of OB 41.
So do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as revised?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I thought we were calling the
Yeah, but we'll call him during the hearing and try to get him before the end.
okay, all right, fine.
Call the question. The motion passes 3-0 with Commissioner Burrell and Cupid absent.
Okay, the two cases that are on consent, OB 44 and OB 46, you're free to leave. Just go quietly so we can continue the hearing. And we'll jump right into the held and continued case. First case we're going to hear today is LEP 26 of 2025. Ronaldo Valdez requests a temporary land use permit to allow more people and vehicles than the code allows in land lot 56 of the 17th District. The property is located on the north side of Walnut Circle, west of Birchwood Way. Is the applicant present? Let the record show the applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to LEP 26? Let the record show there's no one opposed. Would the applicant please come forward to be sworn in? Madam Vice Chair and Board, the applicant is here, but he's waiting on his interpreter. So if it's okay with the board, we'll skip this one and go to the next case and come back to that one. Okay? So moving on to LEP 34. LEP 34, Jose Rolano requests a temporary land use permit to allow more adults and vehicles than the code allows in land lot 16 of the 17th District. The property is located on the southeast intersection of Birchwood Road and Walnut Circle. Is the applicant present? Let the record show the applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to LEP 34? Let the record show there's no one opposed. Would the applicant please come forward to be sworn in?
Good morning. My name is Jose Orellana. I come in for see some person say I got too many cars in my house, pero I got a surgery a couple of months ago. Por eso my family go see me in my house. Por eso sometimes I got a lot of cars over there, Pero it's not really my cars. Only got 4 or 5 cars. That's it. I got pictures over here. My surgery. I got a. Por eso my family go see me in my house. Every day, sometimes I stay every day in my house, you see. Entonces, por eso I got sometimes somebody see too many cars over there.
Is there any other information you'd like to share with us as to why you have that many cars there?
Yes.
Okay, could you please do so?
Mm-hmm. Sí. No, still not comprendo so much, No.
Sir, is there anything else that you would like to share with the board?
She live in Sherwood?
Is there any other information that you need to share with the board?
Yeah,
How many persons live in the house?
5.
If you could give some of those details, please.
Yeah, I live 5, my 4 son and me. Everybody got a new car, for they're working. The guy is working right now, but nobody come with me.
So of the 5 vehicles that you have,
Yeah,
they all
now I
belong?
got 5. Okay, I tell my nephew, don't go because too much trouble, but he go to my house, bring some food, some drink, juice, or something. So all my nephew's uncle go to my house.
So, all right.
So, sir, do you have anything that you would like to share with us in your 10-minute speaking spot, or would you like me to close the public hearing and then allow us to ask you questions?
I don't comprehend exactly.
Okay. And do we have anyone in opposition to LUP 34? Okay, then I'd like to bring it back to the board for discussion. Commissioner Sheffield.
Thanks. Debbie, I'm trying to figure out the best path forward right now. I just want to make sure that there's a clear understanding of not only the hearing itself, but any instructions if it leads to that. I don't know if it's my place to recommend a translator or, because obviously the applicant is here without one, so my thought is he has a full understanding of the direction that we may give from the board.
I would ask him if he understands. And
Okay.
then we would continue the hearing as
Okay.
we normally would.
Okay, I just
It's
want.
his choice to
Okay.
use an interpreter.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Orellana. Thank you for being here. I just want to ask you if you feel that you may benefit from an interpreter, or you fully understand what's being said and maybe some direction from the board. If you're okay, that's fine, but I just want to make sure that, that you're okay. So you ready to move forward?
Yeah, but not understand everything,
Okay.
A little English, not too much.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, I just have a few questions, and just kind of briefly, your request is for 5 vehicles.
Yes.
Is that correct? And you mentioned that it's 4 sons plus yourself, and, 5 adults and 5 vehicles. Do each of the vehicles belong to each of the adults? You also mentioned that some cars that are on your property does not belong to you, but of the 5 vehicles there, does it belong to each of the adults that reside in the home?
Yeah, in my house, no more than 5 vehicles. Right now, it's only 4.
It's
Pero-
only for
Yeah,
what,
right now, pero
adults or
my
vehicles?
nephew simply go every day in my house, He stay all time, check it out with me over there. But so all 5 cars and exactly, I got it all time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you just do me a favor, because the microphone is very sensitive, you have papers in your hand, if you can just set them aside until it's time for you to use them, because we can hear the paper rattling in the microphone. Cornelius, if you can just help him. Just put the paper down. Yeah.
Oh, it's noisy. Oh.
Okay. So I reviewed the code enforcement, and this case is before us because of code enforcement violations. And it extends back to September of 2022, and there were several vehicles parked at the property, obviously, and I recall an application that you submitted last year. Let me see if I had any questions. I don't have many questions, let's see, but you are confirming that there are 4 vehicles at the property?
Exactly, it's 5.
It's
Every
fi-
time, yeah, all time 5 vehicles.
Okay.
My first son in my car, because everybody's working. I need your car, I need my car too for something too.
Okay.
There's 5 cars all time.
5 cars,
Yeah,
okay.
also I need a permit for 5 cars.
Okay, and just for a little context, the code allows for two vehicles and 2 adults. So you're asking for an increase of 3 for both, 3 vehicles and 3 adults. The home is 1,146 square feet, is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay. Based on the code enforcement violations, there's been parking on the gravel driveway. Do you have a gravel driveway at your
no,
property?
I got it concrete. All my house I park over there, no in grass. I don't
Okay.
park in grass, no.
Okay,
A lot of people go to my house, outside park in the grass. I told you, don't park over there. Everybody's, they say, hey, not your property, it's a ciudad, pero I make clean. I make clean everything, it's my responsibility.
okay. Are those visitors to your home, the people that are parking there?
Some people go see my son,
Okay,
ami-
but they are
amigo,
there-
Yeah, friend, my son.
Okay,
My friend, go see every Friday,
Okay.
Saturday, Sunday.
okay.
A lot of people go to my house, make a barbecue, something. A lot of
Okay.
people.
All right, so they are there to
Yeah.
visit you. It's not that it's the neighbor's cars and they're parking
Yeah,
in
but
there.
I parking, my parking, no in the grass.
Okay. Okay, well, I don't have, hold on. I don't have any questions for the applicant unless you guys have any? No? Okay. All right, you may be seated. Sir, is there anything, well, you may be seated.
Okay,
may be
thank you.
seated. Absolutely. So I'm looking at the Planning Commission's recommendations, but I do recall this application, where'd he go? I recall this application in 2022. I believe you came before the board, and my concern at that time is the same concern that I have now with the number of code enforcement complaints. And the printout that I have, there's 7 pages of code enforcement complaints, which generally are submitted by your neighbors. My other concern is back in 2022, the board directed the applicant or directed you, sir, to come into compliance with code. But even with those directions, there was a failure to do so at that time. In fact, at some point, the numbers of vehicles increased up to, I believe, 7 vehicles. But you've come into compliance now. But the point that I'm making is from the time of the initial application, there's been an increase in vehicles. So I'm just not confident that there is this desire or interest to adhere to the code. And, obviously that puts me in a very difficult situation or position, but I do recognize the need for this accommodation. You mentioned that your sons and your daughter, I believe, are there, and they're all working and they need vehicles to get to work. But while I will take that into consideration, I see very little effort on your part to be considerate of your neighbors and to comply with the county ordinances. So while I am willing to support the Planning Commissioner's recommendation, I do so with extreme hesitation And in all candor, because I don't see where, again, there's been a willingness to be compliant and to be considerate of all things to your neighbors. And just to be clear on my decision, any approval that's made, it's made with the expectation that you will take immediate steps to come into compliance. Unlike the last time you were here, we provided a 6-month grace period, and even within that 6 months, nothing changed. I ask that you respect your neighbors and uphold the standards of the county. The standards are there to protect all residents of Cobb County. Anything less would not be acceptable. I would also note that if it is your desire to renew your application, because I understand the request was for 12 months, but if it's your desire to renew, you must renew at least 60 days before the expiration of the application, before the expiration date of the application. But with careful consideration because of your family dynamic and even greater hesitancy, because I am hesitant, I make a motion to approve LUP 26, 2025, based on the Planning Commission's recommendations with a slight revision. Let me find their recommendation. To amend recommendation of the Planning Commission minutes dated September 2nd, 2025, to reflect that there are to be no more than 5 vehicles parked at the property. And all other comments and recommendations not otherwise in conflict. And that is my motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the question. The motion passes 3-0 with Commissioners Burrow and Cupid absent.
Okay. Madam Vice Chair and Board, the applicant who was a no-show this morning for OB 41 is on his way, so we'll call his case as soon as he gets to the room. And then the other application that we just called, the interpreter did show up, so I'm going to recall LUP 26 again. LEP 26 of 2025, Ronaldo Valdez requests a temporary land use permit to allow more people and vehicles than the code allows in land lot 56 of the 17th district. The property is located on the north side of Walnut Circle, east of Birchwood Way. Would the applicant please come forward to be sworn in? Is there anyone here opposed to LEP 26? I'll let the record show there's no one opposed.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Reinaldo Valdés.
Good morning, my name is Reinaldo Valdez.
Estoy aquí, yo pienso que es... oh, sí.
I'm sorry, he wants to know who's he gonna be talking first, or you guys?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He has 10 minutes to present his case,
Oh, okay,
and you present it to the entire board.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, this is Cassie.
Estoy aquí por el caso de que tengo varios vehículos, pero yo me metí una aplicación para un permiso que pagué $260. No sé si no me lo están aceptando o...
I am here for the case that I have about the cars, and he previously paid paid $260 for an application in order for the city to allow him to have those cars in his property.
So can he share with us why he needs the number of cars in the driveway?
Que por qué necesita, si les podemos mostrar por qué necesita esos tantos carros en su driveway.
Porque son carros de mis hijos, de mi esposa y mío.
It's the cars for my kids, my wife, and for my job, and his personal car as well.
Do you have any other information you'd like to share?
¿Quiere decir otra cosa más?
No.
¿No quiere decir nada? He says no.
Okay, and as there was no opposition, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing and hand this over to Commissioner Sheffield.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Just want to go back as a point of clarification. His testimony, he mentioned that he paid a fine, therefore he paid to have the cars at the property. Is that correct?
¿Usted pagó una multa y más aparte lo de la aplicación para que tuviera sus carros?
Sí, pagué multa y la aplicación.
Yes, he did pay for a fine, and he also paid for the application to have his cars in the property.
Right, and I understand that he paid the fine, but I thought in his testimony he mentioned he paid the fine, therefore he paid for the vehicles to be there. But I just wanted to make clear that you paid the fine because it was a violation of the code not to have the vehicles at the property.
Quiere saber que si pagó la cuota que tenía que pagar porque fue una violación que tenían los carros en su propiedad.
Pagué $135 solamente de multa que me cobraron.
Yes, he paid that.
Okay.
He paid that and then closed the application for the vehicles.
Okay, thank you. So the request is for 7 vehicles and 4 adults. The code calls for 3 vehicles and 3 adults, and the home is 1,492 square feet. He mentioned that it's his wife, kids, job, and personal vehicles, so I count that as 4 vehicles. And who drives the other 3? Or if he can share with me how many children drive a vehicle, maybe that's where.
Yeah, he said that he only has 6 vehicles in his property, not 7. And ¿quiénes son los que manejan los carros?
Mis 2 hijos, mi esposa y yo.
Her,
Bueno, son 3 con el nene, 16 años.
It's 3 kids, 3 of her, his kids that drive the cars, and his wife and himself. But he has a car for his job.
Okay. Okay. Let me just go back. I thought the original application indicated 7 vehicles, but okay. Yeah, it does. The original application indicates 7 vehicles.
Que la aplicación original indicaba 7 carros. No, he says no, it's only 6.
Okay. And also, based on the code report, and there's several pages of code enforcement violations as well, I believe with this one. Let me get to it, yeah. There are a couple of pages of code violations with codes dating back to October of '24, based on the number of vehicles at the property. There was also a camper parked in the front yard. Is the camper still there?
Que viendo todavía todos los récords que tienen ellos en su están viendo que tenían todavía la trailer que tenían frente.
No, eso no tengo, esa la que tengo.
He doesn't have any camp or any trailer in his property.
Okay, and also, there was a report, a code enforcement violation of storage underneath the carport. Has that been cleared? Because this report or that inspection was in November of last year.
La inspección, hicieron una inspección en noviembre del año pasado que tenía muchas cosas debajo de su garaje, que si ya limpió ahí.
No, eso voy a limpiar y voy a meter, te estoy limpiando, voy a meter los carros ahí.
He said he's cleaning that space off and he's gonna put cars in there.
Okay, but this is underneath the carport.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay,
yes.
all right, okay. To his best estimation, does he feel he's in compliance with code today outside of clearing the carport?
Can you say that again?
In his best estimation, does he feel that he is in compliance at his property with the exception of the carport?
Que si usted se siente como que si va a tener like you mean like he feels confident that he's gonna get that cleaned that up, or?
No, is he in compliance? In other words, is he still parking on the grass? Because there were observation of code enforcement with him parking on the grass. Is he still parking on the grass?
Que si se sigue parqueando ¿cómo se llama?
¿La yarda?
Yeah, encima de la
No.
He said they don't park on
Okay.
the yard.
Because as I read through the code enforcement synopsis in the report, it does seem like over time, he's come into compliance with the property, because I'm reading some entries that observe up to 7 vehicles at a time, and his testimony today says, he states that there's 6 vehicles, so I think that there is an effort on his part to come into compliance.
Que estaba mirando que antes tenías, decían pues que tenían siete carros ahí. Pero que
Let me just check
ya he
one
estado viendo
other.
que nada más tiene 6, entonces sí está viendo que ha hecho un esfuerzo para en eso.
Okay. Dating back to February, and I know that he just has 6 vehicles there, but I still want to touch on some issues here in the code enforcement report. But there is a van, or there was a van earlier this year that was parked on an unhardened surface. Is that van his work van, the white
Dice que hay
van?
una van que estaba ya parqueada, parqueada en su casa, que si es su carro de usted.
Una ven blanca.
Is it a white man?
Yeah.
Sí, esa es mía.
That's his.
Is that his personal vehicle or his work vehicle?
Es del trabajo.
Is his for his job.
Okay. Okay. I think that's all. That's all the items that I have, unless you guys have any questions, no? Okay. Okay, that's all I have. So, John, as I read the Planning Commission recommendation, there was an approval for the additional adults for 24 months, the 4 related adults. But there was a recommendation for denial of the extra vehicles. And if you recall from the PC hearing, and I had not had an opportunity to view it before today, was there testimony shared of the drivers of the vehicles? Because it's not captured on the application, and I just want to confirm if that was shared at the PC hearing.
I do believe it was his adult children that were the drivers of the extra cars.
But did he share that at the meeting? Because I'm seeing a denial of the additional vehicles.
I'm not sure if it was shared at the hearing, Commissioner Sheffield, or if that was something that was just in the application that we saw in the file.
Okay, because I didn't see in the file where he noted, hold on, let me just take a quick look. And he might have, maybe I'm just confusing it with the other application. No, in the application, it doesn't list the drivers of the vehicle, and typically on the application, the applicant will list the members of the household and who drives the vehicles. I'm just concerned that with denying the application, you know, if he has adult children, then how would they get to and from work? So I'm just trying to figure out what additional information I can glean from the PC hearing. Okay. I am supportive of the the Planning Commission recommendation, which was to approve the LUP application for 24 months, way to go, to approve it for 24 months. But they went on to deny the request for the extra vehicles. Now, the code allows for 3, and he's essentially looking to double what the code allows to 6 vehicles. If he can approach, I want to ask him about his work vehicle. My question is, can he park his work vehicle at a different location?
Que si puede parquear su carro de trabajo en otra locación.
Because he also has a personal vehicle as well.
Porque también tiene uno para usted.
No tengo dónde parquear en otro lado.
He doesn't have any other place where to park.
Pero
So,
voy a tratar de tener solamente 5 carros ahí, si me lo permite.
Then he's gonna try his best to just leave the 5 cars in there.
I'm sorry, can you step to the mic? I
Yeah,
can't.
he said that he's gonna try his best to only have 5 cars parking in the property.
What exactly does that mean, to try his best? I'm just trying to figure out if he's planning to make arrangements to store the work vehicle at another location.
¿Cuáles son exactamente sus planes con que va a intentar? Que tiene que decirle que si va a hacer algo o que si está
Sí.
planeando ponerlo en un lugar.
Estoy planeando de quitar un carro de...
He's actually planning to remove one of the cars that is already there.
And which car is that, and what are his plans, if you can share that with us?
¿En qué carro es ese que quiere quitar y cuáles son los, cuál carro es el que va a quitar?
¿Quiere que le diga la marca y todo eso, color o cómo?
He wants to know if you want him to tell him like the brand of the car, the color, or...
No, he mentioned that he plans to have 5 vehicles, and I just wanted to know what his plan is. Is he planning to store one of the vehicles off-site? Is it that one of the occupants of the home are moving out? I'm just trying to figure how is he going to execute that plan?
Okay, quiere saber que si el carro ese, el extra carro que tiene, el que va aquí, que dice que va a quitar, que si alguien se va a mover de ahí, que cómo va a hacer para quitarlo, para que no esté
Lo voy a
ese-
mover a otro lado.
He said that he's gonna move it to somewhere else.
Okay, is it the van or the car?
No, el carro.
It's the car.
Okay.
Car, not the van, it's the car.
Okay. And does he have a window in which he plans to move it?
¿Sabe más o menos cuánto tiempo le va a tomar para quitar ese carro?
Que me dé un par de meses.
If he can just give him like a couple months.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That's all that I have. Yeah, go ahead.
I do have one question for you, please. So in your testimony, you said it was you, your wife, and 3 children that reside in the home,
En
correct?
su testimonio usted fue que dijo que son 3 niños y su esposa las que viven con usted.
No, o sea, 3 niños son los que manejan.
3 kids are the ones that drive
De los carros y mi esposa y
from
yo.
with the cars, and then his wife and himself, like the ones that drive in those cars.
So do you have 4 other adults living in the house that are not your family?
Entonces tienes 4 adultos más que están viviendo en la casa que no son tu familia.
No.
No.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I thought I had some notes here.
Okay.
So with the Planning Commission recommendation, I do support and uphold their recommendation. And I'd like to make a motion to approve LUP 26 for 24 months. And I'll recommend denial for the LUP 26 additional vehicles, but will add the allowance for vehicles in my stipulation because the original request was for 7. So for the 7, although I know there's 6 there, but the application has 7, so that part of the request I will deny. However, I will allow for the additional vehicle within my conditions. So if we can, clerk, revise the PC's recommendation number 1 to read applicant to clean out the garage to allow for the parking of 2 vehicles inside and allow 2 vehicles to be parked on the outside. Now, hold on, that was 6 vehicles. Although he says he has 5 at the property. And allow 2 vehicles to be parked, 3 vehicles, because I will allow the additional. 3 vehicles to be parked on the driveway. Applicant to remove any additional vehicles from the property within 60 days. And all staff comments and recommendations not otherwise in conflict.
I'll second the motion for discussion.
Okay, go ahead.
Would you like to put a time that the garage has to be cleaned out and the vehicles parked within? Because testimony was given that he had started it last November and it has not been
November.
completed.
Okay, all right, thank you for that. Yes, and if I would amend that to clean out the garage within 30 days and park the vehicle within 30 days. From approval, yeah.
And I will second the amended
Thank you.
motion. Any other discussion?
No, ma'am?
Call the question. The motion passes 3-0 with Commissioner Burrow and Cupid absent.
Okay. Is the applicant here yet for other business item number 41 of 2025, Landstar Builders, Inc.? Okay. So what I'll do, Madam Chair and Board, is I'll reread that into the consent agenda, and then, if the board wants to, just approve it. All right. Other business item number 41 of 2025 is to consider amending the stipulations for Landstar Builders, Inc. regarding rezoning application Z18 of 2022. The property is located on the south side of Liberty Hill Road, east of Canton Road, in land lot 660 of the 16th District. Staff recommends approval, subject to the following conditions. Number 1, Fire Department comments and recommendations contained in the other business packet. Number 2, Cobb DOT comments and recommendations contained in the other business packet. Number 3, contractor use is permitted. Number 4, no outdoor storage and no heavy equipment on site. And number 5, all previous stipulations not in conflict remain in effect. The applicant is present. Is there anyone here opposed to other business item number 41? There's no one opposed, and the applicant is present. Madam Vice Chair and Board.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve OB 41 as presented.
Second?
Any discussion? Call the question. The motion passes 3-0 with Commissioner Burrow and Cupid absent. Now I'd like to make a motion to add OB 41 to the consent agenda item.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Call the question. Motion passes 3-0 with Commissioner Cupid and Burrell absent. Okay, John?
Thank you. All right, moving on to the next item on the agenda is other business item number 33 of 2025, which is to consider amending the stipulations and site plan for Adesua Fatarin regarding rezoning application Z13 of 2013. The property is located on the east side of Atlanta Road, south of Paces Ferry Road, inland lot 743 of the 17th District. Is the applicant present? Yes. Applicant is present. Is there anyone here opposed to other business on number 33? Please stand and raise your hand. Okay, the record, so there's 12 people here opposed to this application. All those who would like to address the board either for or against the application, please come forward to be sworn in.
Good morning.
Go ahead and state your name and you may present. You have 10 minutes to present your side.
Say that again?
We're ready for you to present your side.
Oh, okay. So I know I got some feedback, and I have these stipulations that have been suggested, and I don't have any objection to the stipulation. I approved it, and that is all I have.
Can you please state your name for the record?
Adesua Fadirin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you have no other information you'd like to share with the board at this time?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
And if we can call opposition, go ahead, you may be seated. And remember, you have 10 minutes collectively to present.
Morning, Madam Chair and Board. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak again this morning on this application. To remind the Board from this being heard last month, I'm here on behalf of several adjoining property owners in the association that adjoins this property, homeowner association that adjoins this property. Those individuals are here with us today, James and Jill Hislop, Charles Hamilton and Chris Goodwin, and the several others that you saw here that stood at the call of the case are either the adjoining residents or nearby residents in Paces High Park. Last month, we also had others from outside the subdivision as well. We've continued to have concerns for what this applicant proposes for the business to operate here. We expressed several of those to you last month, and that not only comes from the type of business that we've seen being proposed, but from the activities that we've seen during the pendency and prior to this case being filed. This is not an attack on the applicant or an objection to an appropriate business being at this location. There was significant detail and intention that went into Z13 from 2013, June of 2013, multiple pages of stipulations amending and adding to an already detailed stipulation letter from the attorney for the applicant at that time. The intent was to have a professional office or similar use. There were other uses that were allowed to be proposed, and that's what we have here. But we can't forget the intent of what that stipulation letter, those conditions and those minutes required. And that's appropriate looking at what this business is adjoining. I'm not going to go back through all of this, but I think just looking at this commercial operation and what's surrounding it with the residential, you can see, and if you watch the hearing from 2013, you can see the level of attention that went into trying to make sure that in every way possible we could ensure that this was a use that looked like a professional office. It was even originally proposed to be by appointment only, and I don't know when we ever see that. So that's the limited type of use. We then have the things that we've seen during the course of this application that have led my clients and the adjoining owners to rightfully be concerned that what's been proposed in their own documentation is well beyond neighborhood bakery. 90% is designed to be distributed to other operations and advertised as a wholesale bakery. So I'm going to let you hear from one of the adjoining owners to kind of add to and provide additional information from what was provided to you before. We appreciate that there may be some discussion to have additional stipulations be imposed. We think that would be a good thing, but we think that there is still significant concern about the actual type of operations here not being appropriate for this location, and some changes to what we would like to see as hours of operations and other components that I'm going to let Ms. Hislop speak to.
Good morning. My name is Jill Hislop, and I am one of the residents that immediately adjoins the property. We are right behind at 3712. Before we purchased our home in 2016, we reviewed the documents that were on the property that is in question. We were comfortable with an LRC property on the adjacent. This reassured us that it would protect our quality of life, our property values, that it would be low-intensity, neighborhood-serving businesses. The stricter stipulations, as Mr. Rosen has mentioned, were written to be an office with limited hours, carefully chosen conditions to minimize the impact that it would have on the surrounding homes. And for almost 10 years that we lived there, this worked. We're here today because they failed to do their due diligence prior to purchasing this property. We're now trying to balance the interests of an existing residential neighborhood with that of businesses whose operational scope is honestly murky. We've seen and we have a lot of concerns. Over the past months, and we addressed some of it last time we were here, there's been property damage, both to our property, to our HOA's property, and to Mr. Pilgrim's property. Am I controlling this? Dating back, that's missing things, all right. Dating back to when this first started in April, when we first made our first claim to code enforcement, we started discussing the amount of dirt, soil, debris, and trash that were piled up against our rear fence. It's noted on April 24th of 2025. In May of 2025, they indicated that when they were done with construction, that debris and dirt and asphalt would be removed. It's still there as of today. And when you look at those trees that are behind that property, they're dying. One of them is most likely already dead. That further increases the likelihood of additional property damage. There's already been damage to the neighborhood's fence, which is owned by Paces High Park, as well as the significant amount of dirt that is actually piled on some of our property. Mr. Pilgrim has told you about the damage to his property. It resulted now in a lawsuit. This is not the type of life that we want. We shouldn't have to be fighting with our neighbors. For the years that we've had, for the years that these stipulations have been in place, this neighborhood has had a good relationship with the two businesses that occupy that property. That's no more. I have repeatedly tried, in writing, to reach out to Ms. Fadarin and to FAD, and those attempts were met with absolute silence. Just as you want to have a relationship with your neighbor, our community wants to have a relationship with this business, but it appears that it's a one-way street. Given the behavior that we've seen thus far, that raises significant concerns for the impact that it is going to continue to have on us. The zoning is clear. LRC must abide by low-intensity, neighborhood-oriented services to nearby residents. Instead, we're faced with an industrial wholesale operation. Just last month, Ms. Fadarin testified that these products are going to be sold via UPS, that they'd be picking them up. Her packaging includes stabilizers, preservatives, and metric labeling. The oven that she mentioned in her video, this is a screenshot from your BOC meeting of last week. That's a Bassanina oven. It's capable, depending on the model, and that we can't tell from that video, of hundreds to thousands of items per day. That's not LRC. That's not neighborhood-oriented, and it's most certainly not low impact. We looked up all the zoning of all the nearby bakeries. Not a single one is LRC. Not a single one is close to residential as this one is. Of the small-scale bakeries, not a single one begins operations at 6 a.m. They lack parking, delivery space, and the ability to operate without encroaching on the neighborhood property. Just yesterday, they had an 18-wheeler parked on Yolis's property, on Mr. Pilgrim's property, and he is also here today, without his consent. The stipulations that are proposed allow operations beginning as early as 6 a.m. and as late as 9 p.m. 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday through Saturday. Would you want that in your backyard? That does not even give my elementary-age child enough time to get the recommended sleep that he is supposed to have. And that is not the stipulations and the requirements that we were promised when we purchased this property pursuant to the